Buying furniture for your business can be full of compromises, confusing choices, and little support. National Business Furniture is here to change all of that. We believe that every business deserves furniture that lasts, service that cares, and a partner who gets it at a budget that works. At National Business Furniture, that's our commitment to you. Find the right furniture for you and your team at National Business Furniture. Visit nbf.com and use promo code POD10 to save 10% now.
At Pepco, we know that rising energy costs are putting real pressure on families and businesses across D.C. Since we don't control most of your bill, we're focused on all we can do to help our customers. Providing assistance through our Customer Relief Fund, investing in reliability to reduce outages and costly repairs, and advocating for long-term solutions. That's how we're helping customers today and strengthening the system for tomorrow. Learn more at pepco.com/energy costs.
On today's Smart 7, US abruptly pauses Project Freedom, Starmer hosts Downing Street Forum on anti-Semitism, and much more. It's Wednesday, 6th of May, it's No Diet Day, and happy birthday, George Clooney.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
America and Iran continued their diplomatic arm wrestling over the Strait of Hormuz on Tuesday. The US had announced that it would begin escorting ships through the channel in a move dubbed Project Freedom, but it wasn't clear that any ships had successfully passed through. Then on Tuesday evening, in a social media post, the US president declared that Project Freedom was being paused because an agreement with Iran was close, and in the Oval Office, he continued to talk up what he calls America's victory.
I call it a skirmish because Iran has no chance. They never did. They know it. They express it to me when I talk to them. Then they get on television. They say how well they're doing.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi had described the American efforts as pointless, posting on X that Project Freedom is Project Deadlock, but hasn't commented on the potential deal. Earlier, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had held a press conference and continued the theme of threats to Iran, while also calling on America's allies to contribute to the mission.
If you attack American troops or innocent commercial shipping, you will face overwhelming and devastating American firepower. The president has been very clear about this.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer held a summit in Downing Street on Tuesday to focus on the issue of anti-Semitism after a wave of attacks on the Jewish community in London. The forum saw senior leaders from the police along with business, arts and higher education figures gathered as the PM asked for their help in confronting the forces that drive this hatred. He also announced a number of measures, including the fast-tracking of hate crime prosecutions and extra funding to protect the Jewish community in areas of greatest risk. He called on the Arts Council and universities to pay closer attention to what he called a crisis affecting British Jews.
When abuses take place, we're calling on universities to demonstrate action. We will now expect them to publish the scale of the problem on their campuses, as well as the specific steps they have taken to clamp down on it.
Tory leader Kemi Badenoch was keen to draw historical comparisons and was demanding more dramatic action.
I'm actually calling this a national emergency. What we saw in the 1930s was a climate of intimidation, starting with misinformation and legitimizing Jewish hatred. I'm talking about the normalization of hatred towards Jews.
The local elections take place this Thursday across England, while Scotland and Wales see parliamentary elections. Things haven't been going much better for Labour in Scotland, with Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar one of the first to call on Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign back in February at the beginning of the Mandelson scandal. He was back in the spotlight on Tuesday, writing in The Independent to express his disappointment with the PM in a bid to wrangle Scottish voters away from the SNP.
I said what I said in February. I stand by it. Again, I'm saying directly to voters in Scotland. I get many of you are disappointed and angry. Every vote for me in Scottish Labour in this election is not an endorsement of Keir Starmer. It won't be used as an endorsement of Keir Starmer. It is choosing who the First Minister is.
If you were thinking of taking to the seas to avoid rising airline prices, an outbreak of the deadly hantavirus on a cruise ship may change your mind. Tuesday saw 2 crew members from the MV Hondius airlifted off the stricken vessel, which is currently anchored just off West Africa's coast. The ship has had an outbreak of hantavirus, which has seen passengers fall ill and 3 die in what appears to be a highly unusual case of human-to-human transmission. Medical teams and the World Health Organization have boarded the vessel and are testing and treating passengers with symptoms. The disease is usually spread by rodents, but Dr. Maria van Kerkhove from the WHO says that in this case, it seems to be human-based transmission.
Our assumption is that has happened, and that's why we are operating and working with the ship to make sure that anyone who is symptomatic, anyone caring for patients is wearing full personal protective equipment. The medical personnel who have boarded the boat have brought additional PPE as well.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Arsenal head to the Champions League final and Dolly Parton has some news right after this.
Buying furniture for your business can be full of compromises, confusing choices, and little support. National Business Furniture is here to change all of that. We believe that every business deserves furniture that lasts, service that cares, and a partner who gets it at a budget that works. At National Business Furniture, that's our commitment to you. Find the right furniture for you and your team at National Business Furniture. Visit nbf.com and use promo code POD10 to save 10% now.
At Pepco, we know that rising energy costs are putting real pressure on families and businesses across D.C. Since we don't control most of your bill, we're focused on all we can do to help our customers. Providing assistance through our Customer Relief Fund, investing in reliability to reduce outages and costly repairs, and advocating for long-term solutions. That's how we're helping customers today and strengthening the system for tomorrow. Learn more at pepco.com/energy costs.
Welcome back. This week sees the semi-final stages of the European competitions wrap up, with 4 English teams still in the running for a major final. Arsenal were up first on Tuesday at home to Atletico Madrid as they battled for a spot in the Champions League final in Budapest at the end of May. After the first leg, the game was tied at 1-1, with Mikel Arteta's side hoping to make the most of home advantage as they fought to reach their first Champions League final in 20 years. A goal from Bukayo Saka was enough to give the home side victory, and the Arsenal manager was full of praise for the home fans as the celebrations kicked off.
I think they set the standards and we tried to catch up with them immediately, and it's so good after so many years to give that joy back to them and see that pride in their eyes is beautiful to watch.
There was bad news from Dolly Parton on Tuesday, but don't worry, the 80-year-old is fine. The country music icon, entrepreneur and philanthropist was originally due to start a residency in Las Vegas back in December, but due to ill health it was postponed to September of this year. The 10-time Grammy winner hasn't been sitting around though. Her current to-do list includes making music, running her Dollywood theme park and opening a new museum and hotel in Nashville later this year. She's now decided to cancel the Vegas gigs altogether, but she popped up to reassure fans in her own unique way.
The good news is I'm responding really well to meds and treatments. Now the bad news is it's going to take me a little while before I'm up to stage performance level, because some of the meds and treatments make me a little bit swimmy-headed, as my grandma used to say.
There's a new movie on the way that's not quite your normal biopic. It's called Tony, and it focuses on a chapter in the life of legendary chef and writer Anthony Bourdain. Bourdain died in 2018 at the age of 61, but his estate is supporting the movie, which it says is an interpretation of one transformative summer in the chef's life. Dominic Sessa, the breakout star of 2023's The Holdovers, plays a young Bourdain as he lands his first job in a kitchen during a wild and dramatic summer. Antonio Banderas also stars as Ciro, the restaurant owner who gives Tony his first break, and it hits cinemas in August.
You know I can cook too.
The kid said he's a cook, chef.
I'm actually not a cook, I'm a writer, but I said I know how to cook.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Shut the up.
I see. None of that was my...
I don't care, Tony.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Buying furniture for your business can be full of compromises, confusing choices, and little support. National Business Furniture is here to change all of that. We believe that every business deserves furniture that lasts, service that cares, and a partner who gets it at a budget that works. At National Business Furniture, that's our commitment to you. Find the right furniture for you and your team at National Business Furniture. Visit nbf.com and use promo code POD10 to save 10% now.
With Vrbo's last-minute deals, you can save over $50 on your spring getaway. So whether it's a mountain escape, city break, or a week at the beach, there's still time to get great discounts. Book your next stay now.
Average savings $72. Select homes only.